Hey, everybody. It's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, March 10th, 2024. The color of the week is red. Nikki in her all-red pantsuit and turtleneck. Ashley in her red blazer and pants. Phyllis in her crinkly red ball gown. And Victoria's house on fire. It's just red, red, red. Oh my goodness. Okay, Y&R. I hope that you know, Y&R, that you have to give us a new set now. That's the rule. Burn one, build one, okay? If you burn one down, you have to replace it. By law, by soap opera law, you have to replace it. And I'm holding you to that rule, by the way. Oh my goodness. Oh no. Oh yes. Jordan sets Victoria's house into bright red flames. Mariah and Tessa say, you know what, maybe I don't want to raise my child around all of this madness. And so they will get a beautifully constructed brand new home. And Victoria will move into the tech house where she used to live with Cole and where they will now fall back in love while raising their daughter. I mean, yeah, there it is. There it is. But, sigh. I really liked Victoria and Billy's Father Knows Best home. I say Victoria and Billy's because I think of them in it together. You know, I think of when they first got that house, and it was meant to be, you know, like a 60s sitcom, for a 50s or 60s sitcom, meant to be very traditional for their non-traditional marriage. And it had those blue walls. It was modern in a way, you know, it was like an old-fashioned design, but with a modern twist, with the blue dark walls and the built-in bookcases. And I just thought that was a gorgeous set. I remember when Billy and Victoria got married, and Victor had her arrested right there on the front lawn of that house in front of the neighbors. And I mean, oh my gosh, so many memories in that house, so many memories. I guess there's a part of it all that to me doesn't seem real, doesn't feel real. I'm not really connected to the fact that it's gone because, well, first of all, we haven't seen Victoria's house in so long. It would have been nice if there was some, you know, seeing it for the last couple of weeks so that I could feel connected and feel the loss of it being gone. But the other thing is we really only saw 10 seconds tops of CGI of a house that was up in flames, which, don't get me wrong, I think those shots were gorgeous, but not practical, not a practical effect. It's more just computer generated effect. And I can't help but compare it to when Y&R burned down the ranch, which I will never forgive them for. But when Y&R burned down the ranch, I should say Sharon burned it down, but Y&R burned down the ranch. And when they did it, we actually saw Nikki and Victor walking through the ruins afterwards. And that was something that really gave it that gut punch of finality. I don't feel that yet for the loss of Victoria's house. And maybe I will. It just happened. It's very fresh. But I'm wondering if Y&R will do something similar for Victoria. Will they let her really, really feel the loss? Will they really, really show the viewers the loss? Are they going to focus on this? Are they going to settle on this and really dig into this? Or is everything just going to vanish out of sight, out of mind, off screen? Let's all move on. And I say, well, if we are committed to, all right, we got to burn down Victoria's house, which is a set that we've had for a while, then if we're going to do it, why not milk it for all of the dramatic worth? Why not really dig in deep on the trauma of this life, the loss of Victoria's life and her, her precious belongings. I mean, your home is your physical representation of your life, and now that would feel gone. I think we should show Victoria experiencing that. I think we should give this loss a lot of attention, and maybe even let it give Victoria a new lease on life. Not just a new place to live, but maybe a new lease on life. Y&R could even tap into Tracy Bergman for writing some of this stuff, because I think she lost her whole house in a house fire a few years ago. So, and a lot of people have had this experience happen to them, even if it's not a fire, even if it was, in my area, a tornado came by and just completely wiped out a town. I mean, just that loss of everything you own gone one day. Everything you've spent a life accumulating just gone in one day. I just think there's so much emotion to be explored here, and it's something that anyone could really relate to, could identify with, could put themselves into the position of, because it would just be so life-altering. So, I mean, for the dramatic storytelling purpose here, I do hope it's not all a one and done, just another home bites the dust and Victoria decides to move in with mom and dad and then throw herself back into work at Newman Enterprises as a way of dealing with the trauma of it all. I hope that's not it. You might think that I would be really mad at Jordan about this. You might think that, but no. I just want to say that I am rooting for Jordan every step of the way of this journey. I love her and she can do no wrong. Burn down a home. Yeah. Push a guy in front of a car. You go, girl. Jordan, you are on fire. Literally. You smell like a gas can and a dumpster, but that beret looks fabulous on you. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to mourn the loss of, what was his name? What was it? Oh, Seth. Yeah, that's it. Seth. Oh, Seth. We hardly knew you. Born to die, as we say. I mean, I guess that's the consequence of going rogue on the plan. Because Nikki told him to string Jordan along. That's all he had to do. Just string her along until the Newmans could figure out what to do about it. But he didn't do that. Instead, Seth confronted Isabel, told her she had a bad wig, Or was it a cheap wig? I don't know. He criticized the wig. And then he held her arm in a death grip to stop her from getting away. I feel like that was his wrong move right there. I mean, first of all, criticizing her wig. And then second of all, death gripping her arm. I mean, she was like, nope. That was right then and there. She knew this guy's dead. She killed like 6 people in the fire at the prison. She's not going to hesitate to kill this one guy. And I don't know what he was thinking. He was saying he was sober, but then he was drinking at the bar. I mean, was he thinking that he was going to drunkenly save the day, and then Nikki would be so grateful that she would just fall into his arms? Well, instead, he just fell into the street. Just fell right out into the street and died. I have to tell you, I rewound that moment about 100 times so that I could get the perfect screenshot of it. And let me tell you, it was the dopiest death ever. Jordan lightly nudged him out into the street, and then off screen, you just hear him go, ugh, 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 and then a thumping sound, and then boom, dead right on the spot. I can't wait for Victor to secretly meet with Jordan next week in a darkened alley. With Michael Baldwin, who is whining that he needs to get home to his wife instead of being on this death mission right now. Yes. Come on. Let's see this showdown. I've been waiting for it because for weeks now, Victor has been touting that he has a brilliant plan that's going to fix everything. And in the meantime, things have only gotten worse. A dead dude in a house fire. I have to admit, though, I do like the bait and switch here. The idea that the danger was assumed to be surrounding Nikki, and we had a lot of buildup around that. Nikki looking out the windows of the ranch. So the assumed place of danger was at the ranch with Nikki, and then surprise, flipping it, Victoria and her house are in the crosshairs. Thanks, Dad. Great plan. I mean, it was part of Victor's brilliant idea to stage the photo shoot to make it look like Claire was living at Victoria's house. And it was his brilliant idea to have Claire talk to Jordan. And Victor didn't even think about the fact that Jordan might not just walk helplessly into his trap. He didn't even consider the fact that she might retaliate. Where was the security around Victoria's house? You drew the villain there on purpose, and then you didn't anticipate the fact that she might sneak onto the property and, I don't know, walk all the way around it freely with a single can of gas and then light a match. No. False. Not a brilliant plan. I also think that Claire's approach on the phone call with Jordan should have been a little more catch a fly with honey. I mean, not to criticize our little angel baby Claire Eve, but that phone call was kind of adversarial. I mean, right? Jordan was retaliating for Claire's insubordination, hoping to cremate Claire and her new mom right along with her. But on the plus side, I did think that Claire had some wonderful moments this week. First of all, not to be overlooked, I thought it was really interesting that Claire was walking through the ranch living room and she picked up a photo of Adam and she compared herself to Adam, realizing that she was coming into this family as an outsider and wondering if she was always going to be an outsider. The answer to that is yes. I can answer that quandary for you right now, Claire. Yes. She is on the inside right now, but give it a couple of months. I mean, I think the comparison here is apt between Claire and Adam because there's really only two paths from here. You either go along with Victor's way or you're out. And right now, Claire is doing a good job of giving the family everything that they want, exactly what they want, and nothing else. But the second that Claire actually starts to make her own decisions that conflict with what the Newmans want, it is going to be a different story. The other nice Claire moment this week was when she was calming Nikki down. Nikki was processing Seth's death and the guilt that goes along with that. Tell Nikki Newman I'm sorry. Thunk. Dead. Oh, Seth. He didn't really say that. That was Jordan's cover-up trying to make his death look like a suicide, but he might as well have said it. I'm sure that his last moments of his life were thinking of Nikki. So Nikki's dealing with that, all while wearing her fabulous red pants, blouse. It was a turtleneck, actually, like a up to the neck turtleneck, blazer, pants. I couldn't take my eyes off of it. She looked so beautiful this week in red, 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 red. Perfect for Fire Week. Just so gorgeous. Oh yeah, well, and oh yeah, she's got Victoria's grief now to deal with too. So naturally, Nikki is looking for an escape. And she just wants to drown it all out with a bottle of vodka. And Claire very compassionately said to Nikki, "How can I help you?" And I think that is such a great approach because it's not like, let me talk at you and tell you what I think you need. No, Claire asked the question, what do you need? And she let Nikki guide the answer. And Nikki knew what she needed. She needed a distraction. And so Claire told the story about the little girl at the hospital and then kind of turned it into a narrative about her own journey. And it not only did the trick of distracting Nikki in the moment, but it also put Nikki into the position of needing to lift someone else up. And that's kind of an ultimate distraction, isn't it? I think Nikki really needs to realize that she has made a lot of progress on her recovery, even in the midst of tragedy. I mean, she's still helping other people's while learning to accept help herself too. Nikki called Jack to save herself from the vodka bottle that she had stashed in the couch cushion. But she did say that she stashed it there weeks ago, and I guess Victor's alcohol removal task force did not find it. I cannot believe that no one noticed that the couch was a little extra lumpy for like weeks now. Nobody sat there and thought, there's something in my back. What could that be? Oh, mother. Well, Jack took Nikki to an emergency AA meeting at the athletic club, and I guess that's the first time I noticed that the decor at the AA meeting is the exact same as the athletic club. It had the same stony walls and the dark wood paneling. So I guess I didn't connect that that's where the meeting is taking place. But I think that's very nice that Genoa City's most upscale private club supports their local AA chapter. Probably does not charge them a room fee. And it was a very comfortable place for Nikki to really rip into those attendees, letting them know that Seth was dead, with no reaction from the crowd, by the way. It was like, you guys, no, Seth, well, I'm sorry to inform you, he's dead now. Crickets. Oh. Well, but she also said that she wants Jordan dead. Said that out loud, you know. I want Jordan to be dead and I want her to suffer. Okay, but maybe not such a good idea to publicly declare that. This is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I feel about Connor's OCD situation very similarly to how I feel about Victoria's house fire. If this is it, then it just feels incomplete. And I hope Y&R is not done with it, because there is a lot of room that I think to grow here. I just don't want it to end up being like, okay, yeah, let's burn down the house, but only show the minimum. And yeah, let's give Connor OCD, but don't show it, just talk about it. I just think that kids have so much anxiety, and nobody gives you the tools to deal with that. I mean, if your parents aren't doing it, I mean, nobody's going to do it. Who's going to do it? School? I doubt it. Kids have a lot, and they don't have the tools to deal with it. And there are sources of anxiety everywhere in the world, especially in a post-COVID world. So just, I feel for kids and what they're going through emotionally and mentally, and just their worlds. I mean, it's kids and adults, really, because when you boil it all right down, we are all just struggling to try to control the things that we can control in a world where so many things are out of our control. That is relatable. And so I think we all have our own ways of arranging things in a way that makes us feel safe. And that's what Connor is doing. But I would have rather spent the time actually seeing him do all of the things that he was talking about instead of just talking about it. Because I kind of feel like the writers just Googled or WebMD'd the top 10 symptoms of OCD and then just worked in every single one of them into a couple of paragraphs of dialogue. Oh, he's afraid of germs, and he counts things, and he arranges things, and he thinks other kids are out to get him. It's like straight out a stereotype. Would he really have all these things, or might it be a focus on just a couple? It was just like, oh, this and this and this, and oh yeah, this, and oh yeah, this too, and you know what I mean? I would rather have focused on this rather than just like a data dump. Like, instead of building the doctor's office set, the therapist's office set, and getting the scenes telling us about it, I wish Y&R just instead would have built Connor's dorm room set and then showed us what it looks like as he's organizing the things in his little world. Like, and have us slowly realizing what he's doing. Maybe even over a couple of episodes. Like, see what he's talking about. Because if this is it, I mean, it's possible there's going to be more to the story in the week or the next week, but if this is it and Connor just goes back to boarding school and Chelsea and Adam come back to Genoa City and they're just talking about him and his progress, then it just doesn't feel like Y&R committed to this at all, which means that Connor was just ultimately a tool, and yuck. So Connor's just a tool so that Chelsea can go on and about mental health awareness to Adam, as if Adam is uneducated and unopen and just kind of like a brute or something. Like, you know, she just jumped on him at the questions that he had. And then, you know, it's sort of also like, okay, well, it's just a tool to create this drama between Chelsea and Adam and Billy. And don't get me wrong, I thought that the scenes in the waiting room with Adam and Billy both talking about how they have had therapy. I mean, and yeah, again, Adam's had therapy, so why would he have the reaction that he was having about all? Like, it was fine and nice, but at the end of the day, it didn't feel like it was about Connor. To me, just felt like it was about the adults. And maybe I'm sensitive to kids' issues because I have a kid and she'll be entering into adolescence soon, and I guess I just think that this could be a real story with Connor front and center. And the actor who plays Connor did such a very good job with it all, but I just have a feeling that it's just like a couple scenes and then we're going to go back to not seeing him. I mean, the golden rule of writing is show, not tell. And I don't feel like Y&R accomplished that. Do you? Do you feel like Y&R accomplished that? Go to yrchat.com this week. I think this is a great poll question. Maybe you agree with me. Maybe you don't agree with me at all. So go to the website and cast your vote and let me know what you think about this Connor OCD story so far. Is it a hit or is it a miss? I had a great revelation this week. It occurred to me that soap operas in the past used to have a lot of medical drama. I mean, like emergency room drama. I mean, General Hospital was centered around a hospital at first, right? And these days, the medical drama has shifted away from the ER type of medical story into mental health types of medical stories. And I think that is very, very interesting. We do not see as many dramatic wheeling a character into an emergency room on a gurney type stories, but we do see a lot of therapists' office now and talk of therapy. And just from recent history, I mean, Chance and Billy, I think, both had some sessions. Connor, obviously, even before this, he was meeting with Sharon. Sharon is the therapist, for crying out loud. Claire is fresh out of Fairview, and to Y&R's credit, Fairview in the mental hospital is treated way less like a Patty Williams style loony bin and much more like a modern recovery center. And now we have Ashley, who is clearly dealing with a serious mental health problem. I mean, I guess it could be a brain tumor too, but it just seems like she has a mental health problem, and we don't exactly know what it is yet, but she is hearing voices, and the voices are referring to her in third person, which is new this week. That's a change for the week. And the voices, like, almost like there's someone, like, the real Ashley's trapped in there, and she's saying, oh no, not again, don't let this happen again. And then the other voices are holding her hostage, calling her she. And it's all very conflicting, and she's clearly experiencing some very extreme personality shifts in between having the episodes of hearing the voices. Like one scene, she is very loving and very contrite and happy and seeming like she is moving on and moving up. And then the next moment, she seems like a very cold and distant and calculated sex kitten. Like she's going to do whatever she has to do to get Tucker back. And it's feeling like a split personality type situation. And I feel like this is an example of Y&R really going to the trouble of showing it. I can see what Ashley is going through. I can hear the thoughts in her head. And I am engaged in the story trying to figure it all out. So I think that this is something that Y&R is doing very well. I am happy that Abby is getting cued into what her mother is going through. Even though I think that she should be confronting her mom directly instead of going to Tucker. Instead of busting up in his hotel room and demanding that he leave town, and also accidentally tipping him off to the fact that Ashley was trying to get Devon to forgive him. So, I mean, thanks, Abby, for picking up the torch, but just like Jack, they all seem to think that the way to go about helping Ashley is to threaten Tucker, and that's only going to intrigue Tucker more. That's only going to give Tucker a challenge, and that's only going to make him want her more. After Ashley worked her way into Tucker's hotel room yet again this week, he definitely was left with a sense of, oh, something's really wrong with her. He seemed really concerned about her. Something's not right. He mentioned to Audra that Ashley seemed almost to have a moment where she didn't even know where she was. That's scary. And it's even scarier if you're Audra, because now Tucker is on the hook, on Ashley's hook. And yeah, that trip to Paris, it ain't happening. Gosh, it has been really nice seeing Abby. I think it's been a great week seeing her moving around town in her pink suit. Looking like a piece of bubblegum Easter candy. And she had a cute little pink tweed, well, it included pink tweed coat and her little bag, and dang, the girl looks good. She had the confrontation with Tucker, and she had all of that great exposition with Phyllis, who was trying to buy out the restaurant to lure her prey, Danny, into a romantic evening, and didn't Abby call it? Oh, Lord have mercy. When Phyllis says that she is fine, that is when you know she is not fine. She is really not fine. fear for Christine. I fear for her because Christine had the nerve to go and win the battle for Danny's heart. Danny chose Christine, and he told Phyllis no, in no uncertain terms. And he tried to let her down in the softest way possible while she was standing there so damn beautiful in that red ball gown, look, with her big blue eyes. He tried letting her down easily, but not before Christine basically dragged him down to society to do it by his earlobe, and then Christine had to stand there behind him watching Phyllis's heart break, like while the whole romantic dinner that she was planning just went up in flames. Oh my God, up in flames. That's the theme of the week. Red flames, up in flames, red. Theme of the week. And I think that the real beauty of the scenes, and specifically when Phyllis and Danny were alone talking, I think the real beauty of it was the fact that we had seen her dream scenario where she and Danny ate pasta and danced all night and kissed and fell in love again. Like this was the beginning of love for her. And then we watched that dream fantasy fizzle slowly into the reality that she was being given the dreaded speech, "Can't we just be friends?" Friend zone. From the red zone to the friend zone. And I feel like we could actually see her heart breaking. But then we also saw her trying to stay strong in front of Danny and insisting that she was fine and telling them that he should go to Christine. I understand. I don't mind. Oh, she minds. Phyllis definitely minds. Oh no, this is the new Phyllis. Yeah, right. You should know better. Because we also saw Phyllis confiding in Abby after Danny left, and she let Abby know that she's minding what just happened, and that not only that, she is going to get revenge. It ain't over yet. Christine is going to wish that she hadn't won when this is all over with. I mean, because, yeah, when it comes to doing battle with Phyllis, there are no winners. Phyllis will cut off her nose and your nose to spite her face. How long do you think it will be before Chance has had enough and decides to leave Chancellor Winters altogether, seeking a greener pasture? And who would blame him? The feud between Devon and Billy is putting Chance right in the middle of a hot pot when what he really wants and needs to be focused on is blowing off all that steam with Summer. That's a good thing. Things are getting a little hot at work. Let me blow off some steam with my new girlfriend. Yes. Yeah. Chance and Summer are really hot. They're really cute. I like them a lot, but I cannot believe that Summer eats mayonnaise on her French fries. That just is wrong. Ugh. Do you do that, chatters? Is there any of you? Do you actually eat French fries with mayonnaise? Is that your preferred dipping sauce? I mean, most people choose ketchup, right? That's more common, I would think. I don't want either. I just want salt on my fries. No dip required for me, thanks. I'll just have salted French fries. Hot, salted, thin-cut French fries, please. So that they're more crisp. They must be crisp. Oh. Okay, yeah. So on top of the Billy versus Devon feud, we have the Nate versus Devon feud that's kind of ramping back up because Nate dared to call Devon out on the fact that, you know, it's funny how you're always a common denominator in these dramatic situations that keep popping up around you. Could that be a factor? And Devon did not like hearing that. Imagine that. And then we have the feud between Maime and Ghost Jill. Again, I'm gonna need to see Jill in order to keep this illusion going. I appreciate that Amanda is Jill's stand-in, but Amanda is not Jill. Maime asked Amanda to pass along a proposal to Jill to unofficially unmerge Chancellor Winters. Okay, fine. That's a fine idea to use as bait, but if Maime has a message for Jill, then she should have the guts to deliver it herself. Oh my gosh, you guys nailed this last week's Who Said It quote. I had a good nap. I mean, I thought to myself, that is so relatable and no one's gonna guess that, but you did. It was Nikki. Nikki came into the room and announced that she had a good nap, and I guess everybody was just really cued into that, more so than I would have thought. So congratulations, Michelle, Hannah, Doreen, Victoria, Justin, Francie, wonderful Wendy, Ron, Henry, Dolores, Sharon W., Diane K., Brittany, Lara, and Daisy. That was good, you guys. But I don't know. I think this one's going to be hard and ironic. Ready? Ready? Who said it? Cue the fireworks. Irony! Cue the fireworks. Who said it during Fire Wake? If you think you know, go to yrchat.com to leave your guess. And if you get it right, I will give you your shout out during next week's Y&R Chat. My goodness, we have a lot to say this week. So let's get to the comments, starting with Daisy, who says, I'm tired of Maime going after a company that Catherine built and Jill made thrive. All Maime is doing is trying to get rid of Jill. Maime was in love with John Abbott. John and Jill were having issues and planned to divorce, but John had a stroke. Maime helped take care of him, and during that time, she told him that she loved him. He said that he loved her too, but Jill heard and fired Maime, and then Jill offered Maime money to leave, which Maime did. Who knows what would have happened if she stayed? I still wish she had. But Maime is living in the past and trying to take away a company that Jill inherited, which has nothing to do with Maime. And it looks like Nate's helping her. He sounds very manipulative. It also looks like Devon might be joining in. Billy is not Devon's problem. Nate is. I hope that Amanda is able to stop all of this and ensure that Jill remains the owner and helps add the Abbott name to the building. But this feud in Maime's head needs to stop. As wrong as I think Jill was at the time, Maime chose to leave. Having regrets, I understand, but trying to take Jill down because of her regrets is something completely different. That is the key right there, is the fact that Maime chose to take the money. Maime took the money. She took the money. She can't complain. I just need to see these two on screen together battling in order to keep up my interest. Ooh, Diana says, we see in the previews that Phyllis and Nick hook up again romantically. I still haven't forgotten when Phyllis took Tucker by surprise, kissing him to try to make Danny jealous after seeing him with Christine at the athletic club. I have enjoyed seeing Tucker and Audra together, but I now think that Phyllis and Tucker would make a much more exciting and compelling couple. They are similar in many ways, as they are both disliked by many people in Genoa City, as they are both trouble. They could lean on each other in times of need, and, there would never be a dull moment between those two. Yeah, so the thing, though, is I wonder if Phyllis and Nick are really going to hook up, or if she's just going to give him a kiss and he's going to deny her advances. That was a hilarious thought, Allie, that Phyllis is going to kiss Nick and he's going to put a stop to it. That was funny. That will tide me over for the rest of the day. But, Diana, I love the idea of Phyllis and Tucker. Oh my gosh, they would be on fire together. Sharon W. says, I thought I wanted Nick and Sharon to get back together, but Phyllis really is lonely. And Nick is lonely too. Phyllis and Sally are the most exciting women he's ever been with. Sally's not available, so falling back into a romance with Phyllis seems his best option. And Nick is Summer's dad, so that means more to Phyllis than just going after Danny as a power play with Christine. Also, Sharon seems way too involved in business lately. Problem solved. Let Nick and Phyllis matchup begin. I just think part of me says, is he going to reject Phyllis? Because I feel like Y&R was setting up Nick and Sharon. But then again, like Diana said, it almost kind of seemed like they were setting up Phyllis and Tucker. So I don't know. I don't know where Phyllis is going to land in all of this. Maybe it will end up being like a Phyllis, Nick, Sharon triangle. Retro is in these days. Ron says, I was disappointed that Abby was the one to deal with Phyllis, asking to use society for a private event. Where was Tessa? I'd love to see Tessa get tough with Phyllis and show a different side of her. I'm hoping that by putting Tessa in charge of society, we see more than her seating people and standing at the hostess stand. She makes the hostess stand look gorgeous. She makes everything that she stands next to look gorgeous, but we do need some more than that, don't we? I mean, that would have been a really good opportunity to give Tessa something to do. Let her battle with Phyllis a little bit. Why not? Lara says, I'm looking forward to seeing Abby in her board member role. I expect it will eventually really damage her relationship with Devon. They're gonna butt heads. He will rebuff her contributions, and she will witness his behavior with other colleagues. Abby will find out that she doesn't know Devon as well as she thought. And also, what will she wear? That's the real question. What is Abby's business attire going to look like when she gets into full swing with Chancellor Winters? And you make a good point, too. Maybe Abby and Devon's relationship will not be quite so copacetic when they start working together. Sharon W. says, Nina and Chance are always amazing together, allowing their characters to show a mother's love and a mother's concern for her adult son, and an adult son not acting ashamed or embarrassed to be thankful for his mother's never-ending support. It's a really sweet story that is a joy to watch. Yes, I agree. I also love the moment when Maime complimented Chance and said that he was handsome. I mean, that's nice. It's nice to feel like someone else recognizes that you have raised, a nice, attractive child. A nice, hunky child. I also just thought it was funny, like, Maime was kind of checking Chance out, and I appreciated that. I don't know if I would appreciate it if I was his mother, but Dolores says, please let's keep Nina around Genoa City. She has been such a joy to watch as a friend and a mother lately. I missed the earlier times of Nina since I wasn't a part of the Y&R viewership. Nevertheless, she has impressed me, and now I want more. Yeah, Nina, she's just got an ease about her and a spunk about her. She's not afraid to tell you what she thinks, but she does it in a loving way. So I love Nina, and I want more of her today too. Speaking of a mother's love, parents' love, Victoria says, excellent writing today with Connor's visit to his therapist. The acting was wonderful by all of the actors, and it was enlightening to hear Connor talk about how his thoughts were bombarding him and how the rituals helped him drown them out. I especially like the exchange between Billy and Adam. They were written true to form. However, due to Connor's situation, these characters were willing to listen and be more understanding. I know this won't last, but it was nice to see. Yes, I know, I'm probably reading too deeply into it, but I felt a little grumpy with that story. But I appreciate your compliments on it. That helps balance me out, and that's what Y&R Chat is about. Because Dolores says, Judah Mackey is an outstanding actor portraying Connor, and oh my, he has grown a bit taller since he was last seen. He left Genoa City with his mom as a little tyke, and now he is definitely a full-grown teenager. And I noticed, as he was talking with Mark Grossman, there was a slight resemblance between them that brought a real possibility of a true interaction between a father and a son. Yeah, Dolores, I was thinking the same thing. He looks like Adam. They have a similar haircut. And I guess the thing is, I like Connor. I really like Connor. Not all kids are great. Sometimes we get the kid actors and it's a little bit of an eye roller, but I really think he's pretty good, and he could take on a role that's a little more substantial. Ooh, Ellen says, Connor is way too old to have a parent sitting in on his therapy sessions and calling him sweetheart and telling him it's okay to talk. That was cringeworthy. He has a cell phone. He's not dumb. He has already checked out his symptoms on Dr. Google like everyone else does. It's disappointing when they dumb down these topical storylines. Same thing with Adam supposedly overreacting about OCD and Chelsea yelling at him every 5 minutes. No. Adam has always been a sensitive and loving father. Gee, Chelsea, maybe you poisoning Ray and faking paralysis was a real trauma for Connor. Stop pretending that Adam is the problem. And did I actually hear Billy apologize to Adam for one of his horrible deeds? His Making of a Monster article about Adam was horrible. And oh yeah, trying to kill Adam was kind of bad too. Wow. Okay, that was good. At least you muttered an apology, Billy boy. If only Billy could finally take full responsibility for failing Delia, then we could all sing Kumbaya at long last. R.I.P. Delia. Oh, Ellen, snappity putting a ding-dang down. Just the way I want it. It's dumbed down. That's what it is. It's a topical story that is dumbed down when it could have been lifted up and explored. Dr. Google. And I just want to say, I think that those scenes really painted Adam like he was some insensitive idiot. Like, no, Adam, he's and it's like, no, I mean, if Adam has had therapy, and again, he's very sensitive to his kid. It didn't make sense. It felt like it was dragging Adam's character down, like, so he's supposed to be dumb just so that Chelsea could kind of prop up and show how sensitive she is, or how awakened to Connor's needs she is. It just, there was just something about that. It rubbed me wrong. I just don't think it's doing any justice to, like a kid who actually, who does have OCD. There's just more. I feel like I wanted more. And Dolores says, a slight disagreement on the soap's depicting of children and teens. That's not the case on General Hospital. Just this past week, There was a birthday party for a young girl, 4 or 5 years old, with a cake and games, and the games were done off set, but they had teen boys disagreeing over one vaping, as well as the same teen's father, a police officer, just being shot in the line of duty, and how he's struggling with the possibility of losing him, and another teenage boy being there as emotional and physical support. In the recent past, one character's teenage son just came out to her, and now she was supportive and accepting to him. There are children and teens of various ages on the show, General Hospital, that are interwoven throughout the show from time to time and have aged appropriately. Even college students living in a dorm experienced college life. It's written so well within the story development that it works. I truly wish that Y&R could do the same with their kids. Maybe it's in the works with Connor now and possibly Lucy. Hopefully Johnny and Katie can come back from boarding school along with the needed appearance of Christian. Dolores, yes. They did a vaping storyline on General Hospital. Now, I really have to give props to. That is so topical. And I don't know all that much about vaping. I don't smoke or anything, but it does seem like it would be one of those like, here, this is a good alternative. It tastes like cherries. And then it's like, oh no, you're still inhaling bad things into your lungs. And I mean, that's a really like real world thing to work into the show. Y&R just doesn't do that with the kids. And I'm not saying I want this to be like the kids hour, but if you're going to feature a kid, then really feature the kid. Speaking of people who used to be kids, Ambrini says, I do like Claire and the actress, but I'm annoyed with something. I am mad that the Newmans will accept Claire so easily and be kind to her when they still haven't accepted Adam as part of their family. Adam has been trying for years to fit in, yet his siblings and stepmom still treat him like garbage, even though he makes an effort, even though he has been pretty good for the past 2 years, even though he has helped the family and showed concern for them. Adam has even given a kidney. Does that mean nothing to them? It makes my blood boil. I made a tweet thread about how Adam has been treated by Nick and his family to get my frustrations out. Yeah, I know. It's because it's what Victoria wants. Claire is in because that's what Victoria wants. Ooh. T. Nicole says, so is Claire going to be Harrison's new nanny and fall in love with Kyle? T. Nicole, this is so fantastic. I can't even handle it. Claire was talking about wanting to do something in childcare. Oh my gosh. Kyle said that Harrison's nanny is out. This is so perfect. If this is where it is actually going, yes. Sherrod says, I'm hoping that when Claire regains her sanity, and even though I still don't trust her, that she somehow ends up in Tessa's orbit. Mariah can have Kyle. Oh my gosh. See, here, I have been so focused on Claire's recovery that I hadn't even thought about who we could hook her up with. Ugh. Shame on me. Ugh. Okay, last week I asked you guys if you would like to see more Cole on Y&R. And the results of our Cole poll, the Cole poll vote was 84% of you saying, yes, give me more Cole. Only 16% saying, nah, thanks. But Tony says yes to more Cole. He came into town with years since we've seen him, and no one has asked how he's been doing or what. Like, maybe a family, maybe an amassed fortune. Oh, and I liked the gray. Michelle says, when they colored the gray, I'm like, yes, he's back for the long haul and adds a love interest. Is that what it was? I sensed a hair change, but I didn't connect it to being colored. I'm the worst with hair identification issues. I have hair identification issues. I just don't do anything with my hair, so I don't think about other people doing anything with theirs. I don't color it. I brush it. I just brush it. And then I go. I wash it and I brush it and then I go. But I also love Tony's point that Cole's been gone for so long. I mean, he has to have a whole backstory that we've missed. What is it? Could he have a kid that we don't know about? That would be good. Well, Michelle says, rips. Another set turns to ash. I liked the Victoria set, the nice staircase. And Nikki murdered JT there. Sweet memories. How could Jordan do that to a Newman property? Let's call Sharon to ask. Yes. So many memories, like them dragging JT's thought to be dead body down the beautiful staircase. Ugh. Connie says, why another fire? The ranch house and now Victoria's house. The Newmans might need to be investigated for insurance fraud if this scenario is repeated and the security team needs to be fired. Yeah, and Naomi mentions that Nick and Noah also had the underground nightclub that went up in flames. You know, and I think that's probably the last set fire that we had, the underground, and they just rebuilt it. They said, oh yeah, the whole thing burnt down to the ground, and then guess what? We just rebuilt it to its exact same specifications. Whatever. That just makes me also, again, feel not connected to a set burning down, because if they could just go ahead and rebuild it to its previous specifications, then okay, well, what's the point of even burning it down? So there's a part of me that just thinks, oh well, Victoria's going to say she's staying at the ranch and that they're just going to rebuild her set, or maybe they're going to repiece the set into the Mariah and Tessa house. I don't know, because I'm convinced that's what's happening. Henry says, maybe I seem to put too much realism into the picture, no pun intended, but I felt like Victor should have been driving the vehicle to the scene of the house fire. He was riding in the passenger seat. Victoria is obviously in shock and upset. Victor, why were you not behind the wheel? Yeah, really. She was like, oh my God, my house is on fire. And she runs goes to leap in the car. And Victor's like, hold on a minute. Let me go with you. And then he slowly limps his way toward the passenger vehicle. She's like sitting in the car ready to go. I like my dad. It's like, I gotta wait an extra 10 minutes just for my dad. If it's like, okay, Dad, we're gonna go somewhere, it's like, okay, I just better chill out because I know it's gonna take an additional 10 minutes just for him to get wherever he is going. So, Victoria is sitting in the car ready to go, just waiting for Victor. That's more annoying too. Or they could have driven separately to go see the devastation. And the fact when the police officer was like, sorry, but you got to leave and there's nothing else you could do, that would be the hardest thing, where it's like, I wouldn't want to leave, and yet you would want to leave. I can't imagine. I don't want to. Victoria says, Colleen Zank is a hoot as Aunt Jordan, a.k.a. Isabel. In the alley after pushing Seth to his death, she seductively pulled out a new disguise from her Mary Poppins bag. She first wrapped herself in her new coat as if it was a warm hug, and then proceeded to apply her wig with flirtatious strokes, and finally, lovingly putting on her beret, adjusting it with exquisite perfection. Bravo! Bravo! That was so dramatic. Honestly, the disguise change was more dramatic than the house fire. Let's be real. Dolores says, what a coup. How convenient for Aunt Jordan to luckily find a fuel or whatever, that it was just tossed away in the alley or behind some business. Believable. No, just too unbelievable. Aunt Jordan is just too amazing in her pursuit of revenge on the Newmans. And now niece Claire, she is masterful in achieving her goals. Maybe if she is rehabilitated, she could be considered for the chief of police for Genoa City. Her Her skills are sorely needed. Oh, I agree. Jordan for like town everything. Town mayor, town chief of police. Absolutely. Keep this woman on. Although I got a bad feeling she's going to die next week. There's a gun involved. Hopefully she just gets hauled away so she can come back later. But yeah, it was totally unbelievable. The fact that there would just so happen to be a gas can there. Wow. And Naomi says, oh, Dolores, the gas can right there amongst a pile of rags. Aunt Jordan is a pyromaniac and finds an accelerant right there. Let's also picture the Uber driver picking her up with the gas can in one hand and her satchel with all of the costume changes in the other. No kidding. How did she make it all the way to Victoria's house? Because she didn't walk. Maybe she hotwired a car. No, wait, you probably can't do that anymore. Maybe she somehow stole it. I don't even think you can just steal a car. You're not going to, it's probably so much harder. Someone would have to leave their car unlocked with the keys in the ignition to steal a car today. So you're right, Uber. Dang. Sue W. says, Aunt Jordan is like a new Sheila Carter. Wickedly diabolical and off the charts unbelievable. A perfectly ridiculous and simultaneously horror story soap villainess makes for the best kind that Calling Dank is gleefully milking for all it's worth. I keep expecting a side wink to the camera. I'm loving it, as all too silly to take seriously and enough to pick apart. And oh yeah, R.I.P. Seth. Rips for Seth. Oh, Seth! Gary says, Nikki will retain her sobriety for Seth, as will I. Gary, when they announced that Seth was dead, you are the first person that I thought of. I thought, oh, Gary's going to be devastated. His twinsy, best friend, Seth, killed so unceremoniously. I'm very sorry that had to happen. Seth was, I mean, he was, I just happen to enjoy making fun of him. He's so easy because we just don't know that much about him, and he's just sort of bumbled in and out, and so I enjoy making fun of him. But I appreciate that you are mourning Seth. You're the one who's giving Seth the proper burial that he deserves, Gary, by maintaining your sobriety, along with Nikki. Oh my goodness, Sherrod says, what the heck? I am now truly convinced that these security people Victor hires are the most incompetent people on the planet. How do you confuse a 20-something young woman with a 60-something-year-old? No kidding. No kidding. Mistaking Tessa for Jordan is the gag of the week. It has to be. Oh, and the gag of next week. Sharon W. says, in next week's previews, welcome home, Lily. Want to join our family for something to eat? Yes! Oh, I am so excited for this. I mean, yeah, showdown between Jordan and Victor, but most importantly, Lily's face when she sees her boyfriend and the cute little family that he's created while she was away. Oh my goodness, that's the longest Y&R chat I've done in a while, but look, you burned down a house and give a kid OCD, and I'm going to have something to say about it, and I know you guys did too. So, go to yrchat.com and keep those comments coming. I will be back next Sunday to chat about it all with you again. I love you, and I will see you then. Bye!